going, everybody? So we're back talking some more Invincible Season 2 on the channel. Part 2 officially begins, and I am very excited to get back and talking about this show week to week. It was pretty brutal having that big break in between Part 1 and Part 2, but we're slowly getting back into the swing of things with Episode 5, but managing to still be quite an epic episode of twists and turns in the aftermath with Mark returning back home. But before I deep dive into my thoughts, share your thoughts down below how you feel about Episode 5, and if you're a big fan of Invincible content, like the video and also subscribe, because we're going to be talking about Invincible every single week for the rest of the season. Opening the episode up, seeing the immediate follow-up to Mark's battle against the Viltrumites and his father was taken away by them, I was surprised by the fact that not only that several of the Thoraxans actually survived this massacre, but Mark stays here for months on end to help them rebuild everything. Up until this point, we had only heard that the Thoraxans age much more rapidly compared to humans, and then when we see it in action 2 months later, they were not kidding. 2 months go by and they're basically at the end of their life, leading to such a bittersweet exchange between Mark and Andressa about the perspective of time, asking Mark to take his brother back to Earth to take care of him because they don't have much time left on their planet. And I thought that was so sad and depressing. Rarely have I ever in superhero media seen a family like the Graysons just go through endless drama, to the point where I feel so bad for the majority of them. Especially Debbie, though. After everything that she's been through already with Mark and Nolan, Mark finally gets back home after all these months away, explains this crazy situation, which also just happens to include bringing home a kid that Nolan had with an alien bug woman, and also, can you raise this other child? I mean, don't get me wrong, Mark's brother is adorable, and the dynamic between him and Debbie is pretty cute, but that's a lot to ask of somebody. When it comes to Mark's brother, that is another thing that I'm really intrigued by going forward. The dilemma involving Cecil, and the fact that he wants to take Mark's brother and do God knows what, because Cecil always has been such a sketchy character. You've also got to love the fact that Mark has been gone for 2 months, so that means that the Guardians of the Globe have been the ones that have had to deal with all the threats in the interim. That was pretty interesting, seeing the Guardians of the Globe go out there and try to face off against these extremely powerful foes. Out of all the various different subplots in Part 1 that are carrying over into Part 2, the one involving Donald and having this existential crisis on who he is as a person or otherwise wasn't one of my favorites, but the shocking reveal to what exactly is going on, I think, actually was pretty good. Due to the fact that once Donald starts demanding answers, it is a little bit of a subversion on what you would anticipate the reveal to be. The simplest way I could describe on what exactly happened to Donald once he finds out is that they just RoboCopped him. They just put his brain into different bodies. It's so extremely grim. Let's pivot over to the more exciting part of the episode, and that is the mission that the Guardians of the Globe and Invincible go on, because those pesky sequids are back on their way here with Russ the astronaut, and pretty much everybody is on this mission. The majority of the Guardians, Mark, and even Eve is convinced to go along, which had me pretty excited because it seems like we rarely ever see all of these heroes together on one mission. Almost immediately, once this mission begins, I'm reminded of just how wild this show can get. We're talking the mission starting being hit by missiles, and the sequids start pouring in all over the place because Bulletproof had to go and punch one of them. Overall, the last half or so of Episode 5 is so intense, never really letting up, swapping between these two battles raging on, with everyone trying to survive the overwhelming amount of sequids, and then you have Rex, Kate, and Shrinking Ray having to face the Lizard League on their own since everybody else is in space. Before this fight, we had seen a little bit of the Lizard League, but I was not anticipating just how vicious these people are. I assume maybe these Guardians of the Globe could take them on. It was so hard to watch this battle, mostly because of Komodo Dragon. Komodo Dragon just went off in this. He was insane. It was difficult not to look away when he's just tearing through all of the different duplicates that Kate makes, then smashes them together, seemingly killing her. Like, I already was horrified of this man, only for it to then continue to get worse. It was awful watching him eat Shrink Ray after she goes inside of him and tries to get big again, and then it fails. By this point, let's be real, I was fully accepting the fact that Rex more than likely was not going to survive this battle, and that's even before Komodo Dragon bites his hand off. Seriously though, what is Komodo Dragon's issue? He is insane. I really gotta hand it to Rex though, because he does hold his own in this battle where it seemed like he was definitely outmatched. He manages to pull himself together enough to actually take out most of the Lizard League on his own. I couldn't help but be proud when Rex pulls it off and he blows Komodo Dragon's Alan's head off. Despite all of that hype, immediately it gets thrown out the window because I, like him, kind of forgot about the leader of this lizard league. But he points the gun at the back of Rex's head, ready to pull the trigger before the episode ends. What a real bummer of a cliffhanger, with Rex's life hanging in the balance and then everybody else being overwhelmed by the Sequids. The only thing that kind of uplifts this is the mid-credits scene where we get to see what happened with Alan, waking up healed and also extra ripped now for some reason. Turns out I kind of misjudged Thetis back when I thought maybe he was betraying Alan. I mean, his methods here are a bit questionable, considering the fact that he gambles on whether or not Alan would survive if he shut off his life support. So either you gain enough strength by surviving when I turn off the life support that you'll become so strong that you can take on a Viltrumite, or you just die. With everything that's being set up with Alan and Thetis and Mark, I am really excited for what's to come in the story. Now that Alan's alive and extra ripped, and then the reveal that Thetis actually is a Viltrumite, defected, and wants Mark to change the tides of war. By the way, with how Thetis rips off his beard to reveal this mustache, did he just rip off a fake beard, or did he just straight up rip his beard off to only leave a mustache? So much exciting potential there for story down the road. And from these 4 episodes in part 2, the story is just going to get better and better each and every week. But since you've heard my thoughts on episode 5, make sure you share your thoughts down below. How'd you feel about episode 5 of season 2? Did you like the episode? Do you feel like it's a strong start to part 2 of season 2? Show your thoughts down below, because part of the fun is having the conversation with you guys in the comments section. And thank you guys, as always, chat videos. I always do appreciate it. Make sure to like on the video and also subscribe to the channel to update reviews, reactions, unboxings, and more. For the next time, I'll see you guys later.